Hi, friends. It says we're live, but I'm going to just wait for all of my devices to catch up to make sure we are. There we go. We went live on my computer first. It's always a race to see which one goes first. Sometimes it's the phone, sometimes it's not. So there, we are also live on the phone. So making sure everything is turned down. Welcome to everyone that's already here. We're so happy you're joining us today. Well, I am Leah Lawson, and I am doing this week's live. Again, Heather's busy this month, so you're going to see me a little bit more than you usually would. So hopefully you're okay with that. Today, we're going to do some foiling. I have already turned my hot foil system on, and I'm letting it get heated up while we wait for everyone to join us and go over all of the details here. Now, Heather is moderating in the comments today. She is the name behind Pinkfresh Studio. So she is here. She just happens to be the moderator. So I am using the Rainbow Daisies washi tape today. I'm actually using the washi tape. I'm not going to be using the stamps and stencils. So I think someone said they hoped Coral Reef was going to be making an appearance today, but it actually isn't. I think the only ink I'm using today is Detail Black for sentiment. So today we're going to focus on foiling and we're going to focus on using the washi tape. So I'm actually not doing really any stamping or ink blending or anything. So no inks today other than stamping and sentiment. So, oh, my dog disappeared. It is almost 80 degrees here today in Minneapolis. So we kind of have everything open. We have the doors open because it's not super buggy. Yeah. So she is free to go in and out as she pleases. So she must have made her way outdoors or towards the front. Oh, thank you. This is actually a cute little romper that a friend gave me. So I am going to mention that right next door, right out this window that's right here, my next door neighbors are ripping down a deck. It seems like they've gotten a lot done so far, so hopefully it won't be too loud any longer. But if you hear sounds, if you hear what sounds to be like construction going on, that is what is going on. So like I said, it seems like they're mostly done, but we'll see. I have no idea. Joan, so yeah, let's go over that real quick before I get into the rest of the details for today's live. We introduced new ink colors last week. We just couldn't keep the secret any longer. I know we've been alluding to new inks for months now, months, we know. And we couldn't keep the colors a secret any longer. So we introduced those. If you missed it, you can find them on both our Instagram feed and our Facebook page. We also sent them in an email. So if you're signed up for emails, you should have that. So the intended sale date is in July. We've spoken with our supplier, and so fingers crossed that we will be able to release 6 new color families in July, but you can at least see them now. Prep for making room for them, saving for them, whichever type you get. And we will be releasing all product at the same time. So the full-size ink pads, the ink cubes, and the ink refills or re-inkers as well. So you've got some time to save, you've got some time to plan about where they're going to go. And as I mentioned, we are introducing 6 new color families for each. So that's how many you need to plan for. All right, before we get going on today's card, let's just quickly go over everything we always go over in our lives. One, welcome. If you're new, we're happy you're here. We're happy you found us. Once I start creating, I don't see as many of the comments. So I'm just giving a blanket welcome to everyone, new or, a veteran to our lives. Heather, as I mentioned, is typing behind the Pinkfresh Studio name. I will miss comments and I will absolutely miss questions, but Heather is great about catching those. So, and also, if you know the answer to someone's question, feel free to answer it as well. These lives are also about being social and being chatty. So you are also free to answer someone's question if you see it. Now we give away a $15 gift card code at the end of every live. There are a couple of ways to enter your name into the giveaway. First, somewhere underneath here, there is a button with an arrow and it says share next to it. Hit that button and share somewhere. You can share on your Facebook page. You can share in an email. If you have like a email message with crafty friends, you can share in your Instagram stories. You can also share to a crafty Facebook group as long as the rules hold. Some don't like that. So make sure you know the rules of your favorite crafty groups before you share. Come back here, let us know you shared, and that's an entry. And other than that, just chatting. Chat with us in the live chat. They're all entries into the $15 gift card code giveaway that Heather will pick at the end. Finally, not an entry into the giveaway, but we would love for you to give this video a thumbs up. That helps the videos reach both now and while it's on replay. And hopefully that helps find new crafters or crafters that don't know Pinkfresh Studio yet and inspire them to find some Pinkfresh Studio products they like, or just use our lives as inspiration for a product they already own. I was gonna say, let's get this camera flipped around and let's go, but I'm actually gonna foil first. And I actually have found that if I just lower this camera a little bit, you actually get a better view of my desk and the foiling process this way. So we're gonna do that. We're just gonna lower down a little bit, and then I'm gonna physically lower the camera itself, and we will put my hot foil system into your view. So I'm also going to grab my die cut machine for running it through. Let's see, I want to make sure there we go. I think that should work. Okay, so you'll see I've already turned the machine on. And if you're new to foiling, I'm using a Spellbinders Glimmer hot foil system. And in the back, there's just a button that I switched to turn it on. I turned it on right as I was going live because it takes a little bit of time for the system to heat up. So when it was heating up, only the red button was lit up. But as you can see, the green button is now lit up, which is telling me that it is ready for a hot foil plate to be put on it and to heat it up, and we can start the foiling process. So today I am going to use our nested diamonds. I love our nested sets. I particularly love the diamonds. I'm not sure what it is about a diamond that I love so much. Maybe it's because I'm a fancy girl. Just kidding. We're going to use just the largest shaped diamond today. So I'm going to get it on here, and then I'm going to go ahead and click the button to heat it up. So as you can see, the timer button is blinking, which means it's heating up that hot foil plate for me right now. And we have to wait until it stops blinking before we can do the process. So I'm going to go ahead and trim down the foil I plan on using today. This is, what's it called? Skybright. This is the Skybright foil from Spellbinders. As I was kind of planning out my call today, I actually noticed that this foil matches the greenery colored in the Rainbow Daisies washi tape perfectly. So I decided that this would be a perfect foil for our card today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to trim down a strip of it while we wait for the hot foil plate to heat up. And then I already have some pre-cut cardstock that we'll foil onto. This is just 100-pound Hammermill smooth white. So timer button has stopped blinking, which tells me we are good to go. So I'm knocking things over here. So the first thing that I am going to do, because this works best for me because my system's a little hard to pull out. Now, I will confess I actually have purchased a new hot foil system. I just haven't taken it out of the box yet. And I'm hoping that that one won't be as hard to release the platform from the base. But for now, I'm still using my old one because it still works perfectly great. And so I will just keep with my standard practice, which is removing that platform first. And then we're going to go ahead and put the foil down, and I'm going to try to center it as best I can on that diamond. And then I'm going to put my cardstock down. Now, finally, we need our 2 shims, and the green frosted shim is actually heat resistant. It's the one you put down first, and then you add the clear spacer pad to the top of it. And I'm going to go ahead and just slowly, I am going to run that through. Now, when I'm doing the initial foiling, I don't feel the need to run it back and forth because I feel like sometimes that causes the foil to shift and you can get some haloing. So let's see how my results are. They are pretty darn perfect. I got tiny little bit overfoiling in a couple of areas, but I am not going to worry about those. So while we have our foil system on, as you can see, my little doggie, she made her appearance back in her bed. I am going to go ahead and I am going to put the solid plate on. Now we're going to have to chat a little bit because for me, the solid plate needs to heat up a couple of heat cycles. So we're going to wait. We have to wait for the platform to be ready before we can heat it up. And then I'll just go over some foiling tips once we can start the heating up process of the solid foil plate here momentarily. One thing I am going to do is I am going to take this. This is one of those sand erasers from Tombow, I believe. And I'm going to clean up the little bit of foiling that, man, this is taking a long time. There we go. I'm going to clean up the little bit of overfoiling that happened on the corners of my diamond here. I'll get to that question just momentarily. Give me 1 second to just do a little cleanup. Now, when I do the solid foiling, that little place that overfoiled, you will see that happen. You will see where that happened in the solid foiling as well. There's no way around that. But here's the thing. This is handmade, not Hallmark. And I will say that foiling has probably helped me embrace imperfection. It's okay if something is a little imperfect. It does not have to be perfect all of the time. And then that little bit of sand erasing that I did really just cleaned that right up. And so my diamond looks nice and perfect. So someone asked if we have plans to offer coordinating colored cardstock with our inks. And the answer to that question is not at this time. Our inks are very custom. Cardstock is complicated. We've looked into it, but at this time, it's just not in our plans. So I will mention this, that something that Heather and I have found is that a lot of the Spellbinders cardstocks match a lot of our inks really well. So just for reference, I use their cardstocks quite a bit. Let me see. Thank you, Kelly. Yep, I am dressed for the 80 degrees today. It's going to be a warm one here in Minneapolis. And I just want to make sure I haven't missed any comments while we are waiting for the solid plate to fully heat up. I don't think I have. So I think I'm pretty caught up here. Okay. Roxanne is asking how to purposefully set over or under foiling. So Roxanne, for under foiling, I would say pull it off before it's fully heated up. Maybe you'll get some under foiling. I don't know for sure if that will happen, but you could always try it. Over foiling, I would say probably a combination of letting your hot foil plate heat up too hot, maybe adding extra pressure. So maybe adding an additional paper shim or something along those lines. In this truth, it's a good question because I don't know. Obviously, everything that I've tried to do is perfect foiling, but those might be some ways to get those, some ideas. Okay, so we're heated up. let's get our solid foiling done. So I'm going to go ahead and release the platform from the base. I am going to put the foil down onto the solid plate. And then my cardstock, this is the same cardstock as I used before. Then the two shims or spacer pads, whatever you want to call them, come with the Glimmer hot foil system. Now, unlike the standard foiling, I am going to run the the solid plate both forward and backwards. You really can't halo on this, so the front and backwards doesn't bother me. And now colored foil can be a little temperamental, so I'm going to do a little test to make sure that I feel like I got good results, and I sure did. It's coming out quite perfect, so I am happy with that. I'll show you guys these in just a minute when I flip my camera around correctly. I'm just going to do a little desk cleanup real quick. Get my system turned off and set aside, and then we will get going on getting a card created. So bear with me while I just do a little bit of cleanup over here. We'll get the hot foil system out of the way. And then I am going to move the camera back up. Hi guys, get it adjusted back to normal. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip over to my desktop and we'll start creating a. All right. So let me go in here. Okay. All right. So you'll notice that I had put my hot foil plate on my glass mat to cool off. The reason for that is we have found that it just disperses the heat better. So it's already cooled off. I can go ahead and put it away back into the packaging now. And then here we have our two pieces that we created with. I'm not completely sure which one I'm actually going to use yet. You can see me in that one. So for now, I think I'm going to pull out a set of the washi tape and just need to update my phone here. There we go. My phone quality, I feel like YouTube always knocks my phone quality down to video quality. So I am going to set these aside for now. And of course, now my phone is, I want to make sure that everything is okay because I feel like my phone kind of freaked out. Okay, I think we're good. So let's go ahead and let's pull out a piece of the Rainbow Daisies washi tape. First things first here. Okay, so I have a panel of the Rainbow Daisies here, and I am just going to trim it really quickly. So Heather and I do this a little bit differently. Heather adheres hers directly to cardstock first, and then she trims it down. Just do it opposite because it works better for me. I feel like I have a little bit more control over doing it this way. All right, so washi tape is nice and forgiving. So if you get little bubbles or anything like that in it, they smooth out really well. But the great thing about it is we're going to cut a lot of this away. So that we don't really have to worry about. I'm going to trim this little piece down because I can probably stamp the sentiment to that when it's time. And I just realized I didn't grab the die for this. So give me just 1 second and I'm going to grab that really quick. Okay, sorry about that. Now we are going to cut out one of these panels of washi. So I am going to use the extended plate hack that we learned from a fellow crafter. And that is, this is 3 extended Sizzix Big Shot plates. and one paper shim. My paper shim is 100 pound, but you can probably really use any. And what our friend found is that equates to the size of or to the thickness of a Gemini Junior sandwich. And so now you've got this fantastic sandwich for these bigger dies that we offer, because we offer these bigger dies not only in our washi tape, but also in all of our slimline product as well. So we love that. This option makes it a little bit easier to cut them out. Now, I don't have a warranty by Gemini Junior. I've had it for quite a while. So this is not Gemini branded product. So if you do still have a warranty on your machine, I would proceed with caution, but it's at least an option that you can think of once your warranty expires, or if you're willing to risk it, you could also just go for it. Totally up to you. But we like to mention that just because my assumption is, I've never looked into it. My assumption is using a non-Gemini branded product would probably void your warranty. All right, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's take a look and see how this goes here. We love our washi tapes, Diane. And so the awesome thing about this is, just with one easy swoop through my die cut machine, I now have all of those pieces, which I love. So I have a little plate here with all of the previous pieces that I already had cut out. So I'm just going to add them into their correct place here. And I think that's all I need. I don't think I'll need another panel today. So I think we are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and pop out the left behind Chad's. I think there might have just been the one out of the die, so I don't have to worry about doing that later. Yeah, you know, I love the rainbow. I love when we come out with a rainbow washi tape. I always think it's quite fun. Okay, so we have our washi tape pieces cut out. We have our diamonds foiled. Finally, I'm actually going to just set the die aside for a moment, because we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiments really quickly. I just need to grab a Misty. So I may also push these aside here, so I have a little bit of room for my Misty to come on screen. So we are going to use the Rainbow Daisies stamp set today to, we're going to use one of the sentiments from the Rainbow Daisies stamp set. And I think, you know what, I think I'm going to stamp two, because I'm not completely sure which one I want to use. I think I want to use either cheering you on or keep your chin up. So I think I'm going to stamp both real quick, and I'll have them both available to use. And then whichever one I don't use, I can just use it at a different date. But I'm not completely sure which one I want to use today. So let's just go ahead and stamp them both. We might as well, right? I think we got the time. I think we'll be okay on time. So I will just fill up this nice little scrap piece of cardstock here. And we will stamp both. Yep. I'm sorry, I probably will totally botch your name. I don't know if it's Mesh or Mishi. Yeah, of course, replay is always available. So Thanks. I'm glad you were able to join us whenever you could jump on. And then you can catch the rest at a later date. So I got that little plate that I use for holding my washi tapes when I'm creating with them on Amazon. If you go to my website, I have a favorites tab, and I have a list with all of the things that I use on Amazon. It's probably the easiest way for me to tell you to find it. I wouldn't typically offer that information up on company YouTube, but I do get a lot of questions about that that plate. So you will find it there. And my website's just leahlawsoncreates.com. So if you're looking for it, you can find the link. Okay, stamp this one more time. There we go, much better results. I did not get fantastic results that first time. And that's a great thing about having stamping platforms, right? We can stamp them up and ink them as much as we want. And now I did forget to grab a damp towel. I'll just go ahead and spritz a little bit of stamp cleaner, these, and use my handy, maybe, there it is. Use my little toothbrush to scrub them clean. I just don't like to leave Detail Black or any type of hybrid black ink on my stamps, just because it does leave quite a residue behind. So I like to get those cleaned off as quickly as possible. So someone's asking how I store my Slimline stuff. I actually just trim the tops off the packaging and I store them in the packaging that they come in. So I'm probably the worst person to ask that question, just because I don't do anything special. I don't buy anything additional. And then if I need to repair a packaging, I just repair it with clear tape. It works perfectly for me. All right, let's go ahead and put these sentiments away so I don't misplace or lose them. Oh, I got them being perfect. Just want to get them back in their place. So there is the stamping, just kind of putting stuff away as I don't need it any longer. Okay, go ahead and my Misty away. Now, I think the one thing that I did forget to do today was actually create a card base. We'll do that together in a little bit. So first thing that I want to do, I am not completely sure which panel I want to use today. So I'm going to cut them down both the way that I know that I want to use them in general. I have a feeling I'm going to lean towards the solid plate. So I'm going to do that one first. So the first thing that I'm going to do, maybe if I can find it, is I am going to take our largest stitched rectangle and I am going to trim, I'm going to cut this down so that the diamond is nice and centered, because I'm going to probably use this as a full panel. So let me grab my cutting plates here. Now I like to do this with the solid foiling. So solid foiling is quite bold. And I think we get asked a lot ways to use the solid foiling. So a lot of times if it is like a floral, I will pop that floral behind the standard foiling that we maybe ink blend. It's just like a nice little added detail. So, but when it's something like this, it's a little bit more bold. So what I'll do is I'll plop it onto a card and have a white underneath it. And then the washi tape has a lot of white in it as well. It just makes it so it's not as bold as just like a full on solid. Great. So we're starting like this first. So we've got our panel. And then let's get that off of here. can go ahead and put this away. So then let's go ahead and grab the nested diamond dies. And let's grab the correct one that just cuts out. Sorry, I didn't realize this is mostly off screen here, halfway off screen. Cookies. And let's grab the die that just cuts out the middle. Let me get these back into place here. And I think that's this guy. Let me make sure. Sure is. So when you're taping into foiling, I haven't found a tape yet that doesn't pull foiling up. So in full disclosure, we're going to probably ruin this diamond cutting out. Diane, that's actually exactly what I'm doing. So great minds. I am likely going to ruin this diamond that I'm cutting out, which is okay. I'm okay that I will sacrifice it to get the look that I want on my card. I am just taking the time to make sure I've got that die, that diamond die, nice and lined up before I tape it down. Okay, I think we should be good. So now I'm going to run this through my machine as well. Yeah, you guys are seeing my face in there. It's fine. Oh yeah, speaking of distress, here you go, Roxy. It put tape on it. It distresses it right up. And there you go. So, but now got this like fantastic peekaboo circle. White's gonna poke through here. So I am certain I'm actually gonna use this. So I'm not gonna cut this side today. I'm gonna leave it as is so that I have options for it when I want to use it in the future. Gail, actually, yeah, that's a great option. Definitely could be something that you could maybe arrange some flowers around to cover up a little bit distressing that happened in the future. Yeah, Pamela, I don't know that there is a magnetic plate for the Gemini. There could be, and it's just something I've never looked up to. I guess that is something I should look at. Yeah. All right. So I also pre-cut this. This is our floral backdrop cover plate die. This is what I actually want to just peek out from underneath this foiled piece. It's just it's a nice, lovely design. I thought it kind of went with the daisies really well. So that is going to peek out from underneath the solid foiling here. That is once again our floral backdrop die. So real quick, I know I'm going to use a white card base because this is so bold. I don't really want to use any other color with it. So I did forget to score a card base. So let's do that really quick. And then we are going to start assembling our card. I need to pick my sentiment, get it die cut, probably die cut a few additional layers of it. So some things to do still. So let's go ahead and score our card at 5.5. Hopefully if that okay. Oops, this is just the same white cardstock that I used, the Hammermill 100-pound. I know some people don't think it's thick enough for card bases. It works fine for me, and I like that it matches the white cardstock that I used for the foiling. So we're going to start doing a little bit of assembly. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the panel. My card base didn't fold completely straight. Normally I would redo that, but I think I'll just probably trim where it's maybe, so it's okay. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to just use some liquid glue to tear this down. Deb, I think that it mentions when they'll be shipped in the product description. I don't know off the top of my head what the exact date is. So I would reference description for that information. And I'm just adding some liquid glue. And we're just going to glue this guy down. So Audrey is asking about how many full die cuts can you get from each washi? So we, either I or even maybe possibly a customer did this once. They pulled out an entire washi tape. And so what we found is dependent upon where the washi tape you get anywhere from 41 to 43 panels. Just depends on where it basically the washi tape starts and ends. Okay, so there is that. Then I am going to grab some foam tape, and we are going to get some foam tape added to the back of the diamond. So for that guy, I'm going to use my big roll foam tape here. And I got to avoid some areas. So just got to avoid it poking out here. Okay. Thanks, Heather, for grabbing that information. All right, now I'm just going to do some smaller little pieces to help in these areas. Hopefully I'm not scratching at my foiling underneath there. I should probably be a little bit more careful. Thanks for joining us today, Roxanne. Thought you could make it for a bit. I am definitely pulling a Heather today. Kind of going all out on the foam tape, but I don't want it to droop. I don't want it to sag on me. So I'm going to get some foam tape in these areas so it won't sag on me in there. Whoa, sorry about that. And scissors everywhere here. Okay. All righty. So now we have our piece that is going to on here. And so that is where, before I glue this down, I'm going to get kind of an idea of where I want the pieces to go. So I know I like this little guy, and I think that he would look pretty cute, kind of flanked down here at the bottom. I'm going to have to do some trimming, I think, because I think it's going to get stuck on foam tape. Yeah. Going to get stuck on foam tape and not, there we go. So I knew I want that little, seriously, come on, to kind of flank the bottom of the diamond there. And then I think we're going to work with the smaller little guys and kind of bring them in along this side here. Let's see. And then maybe just this little small guy. These, I think. Oh. Kind of like that. It's not perfect yet, but we'll get there. And then one of these is going to go right in there. Right? Too much foam tape. I agree. All right. So one thing I am going to do, I'm going to do a little fluffing on this guy. But I think since I know he's going to be a little bit more, he's going to be tucked a little bit more underneath the full panel, I think I'm going to go ahead and glue him down. And then I don't have to worry about trimming him. And then that's one less thing I have to fuss with. Okay, now let's get this back into the right place here. Bring it up here. There we go. Okay. So basically, I feel good with him going. He's going right there, no matter what. And so now, with this guy, it's a little fumbly. Here is something that I actually like to do with these ones is I'll take the release paper off. I will get them in place where I want them. And I'll just go ahead and stick it onto the foam tape. And then it pretty much just kind of stays where you want it. And then I'm going to do a little fluffing here. And then I think this still will work here. So then I might attempt the same with this guy. So I'm going to take the little bit of release paper with this small guy here and tuck this guy in. And actually maybe pull this release paper off a little bit as well. And then I know that this guy's in place. Oops, it's not foolproof. It at least helps you keep them in general in place. So now those flowers are where I want them to go. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the rest of the release paper and get this fully, fully. And then I can put the last little flower in there and we can find a place for the other little guy to go. And we're close to done with this card, other than I will be completely honest with you. I have no idea what jewels I want to embellish with. So that might take me a little bit of time. So I'm kind of glad I have a little bit of extra time here today. And I take the time to get that nice and lined up with that background panel. So it's not off center. Carol, it's really close to our scrapbooking Create and Connect event. That happens towards the end of May. Okay, and then I know you guys can probably see my face in the reflection of the solid foiling. Okay, and I think I like that little guy just sticking out right there. So let's go ahead and tuck him, get some glue on him and tuck him in. Sounds like I'm putting him to bed. All right, I have kind of my little rainbow gradient going to the side of the diamond and then also here in this big batch. So I think those are all of the flowers I'm going to use from the washi tape today. Of course, there's the great frame that came with it. I just wasn't feeling using the frame today. I wanted to use the little elements, find a way to use them with the diamond. But I think that this would make a really fun shaker card, actually, an element in a shaker. So definitely keep that in mind. So I'm going to set aside the washi tape pieces for now. And I'm going to decide on sentiment. You know what? I think I might cut them both out and see what the die cut versions look like first before I make my final decision here. So where did I put the die set? Here it is. So there's the keep your chin up die. And then I think this is the cheering you on die. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and tape these down. And then I'll make my decision on which sentiment I want to use. I think it's a little closer to me. So if it's a little off screen, I'm sorry. Got to be able to see it to line it up. Okay. So there's die number 1. Oh, thank you, Wendy. Yeah, you know, sometimes with washi tape, you can go a little overboard because they're so pretty. The little pieces are so pretty and you just want to keep adding. But guess what I see is like, just set those aside and save them for different, because it can start to look a little cluttered if you use too many. All right, let's go ahead and cut these out. Yes, I love these sentiments too. They're good ones. I love the fonts that we mixed together on them. I think these ones turned out really super fun. I'm not going to put the dies away yet because I'm probably going to cut a couple of additional layers to give the sentiment some dimension. I'm just trying to decide, you know, I'm really feeling that keep your chin up. I just think it fits really perfectly in that little section right there. The cheering you on does look cute, but I really am loving the shape, the keep your chin up. So set this guy aside and I will use it later. But let's grab a scrap of white cardstock. Give me a second because I've got to grab one real quick. Let's grab and we're going to cut this a couple more times to just layer these guys up. And I'm just going to use my little small die cut machine to do that today. I like to use the small ones when I can, just so that I don't put as much wear and tear on my plates. So we'll just go ahead and cut a few more pieces out. Yeah. Audrey, no, wait. I'm not sure. Oh, I think Audrey was asking if Betty has actually used washi tape on vellum. I know that we have used washi tape on vellum before. It just makes it look a little bit more translucent, a little bit more like its original form. So it is actually really pretty. Sure. Yeah, for good measure, I think I'm going to do one more because I think we're okay on time. And then I can really add some nice dimension to my sentiment. Jennifer, the great thing about a lot of our foiling products, we do our best not to offer only foiling with products. So like the great thing about today's card, while maybe you can't get the exact look that I can with foiling that I've done, you can do something similar by using just the nested shape dies, and you could cut it from a satin aqua colored paper or a foil paper of some sort or a glitter paper, and you can actually do something very, very similar with it. So our nested dies allow that. And so just something to keep in mind. And most of our foiling product, not all, but most of it, we offer a way to use it, even if you're not a foiler. We have a couple sentiments that are foil only, but for the most part, we typically offer coordinating stamp set, or we might offer a die that will work on its own. Lots of ways to use our foiling product. Or our foiling designs, even if you don't foil. The thing about like our foil plates is that you can dry emboss with them as well. So there's a couple of additional uses for it. So it's kind of like an embossing folder, just a little different. Okay. Let me, one more layer here. Okay. All right. I like that. I got some nice, made it nice and sturdy. added a little bit of dimension to it. Sure that glue stays in place there. Susie, I have actually never replaced the plates on my little tiny die cut machine from Altenew. They haven't ever warped. Sometimes I have to throw in a cardstock shim to get it to cut through. Not always, but on more intricate type dies I do. So it's the only mini machine I have, so I can't really compare it to anything else. But it seemingly works pretty well for me. Kelly, I'm using the same cardstock that I've used for like the foiling and everything. So it's that 100-pound Hammermill white, smooth white cardstock. So I'm going to add just a little bit of foam adhesive along the sides just to help hold it up on the edge that kind of goes over top of that design here. So I don't want to do too much. So I know some of this will be there. That's probably perfect, about right there. Okay. So let's do just a little bit here. And maybe on the just a tiny piece on this U here. And then we'll add liquid glue for the rest of the sentiment. Christine, my rule of thumb is when solid foiling is heat up your solid foil plate in the heat cycle. I feel like mine just needs that in order to get the best solid results. Run it through forward and backward slowly when you run it through your die cut machine. If you are still getting patchy results, you may need to add a cardstock shim or two, dependent. You may just not have enough pressure in your die cut machine. All pressure is different in die cut machines depending on their age, how long they've been used. And then finally, the thing that you probably don't want to hear from me, but is a reality, is that our hot foil machines don't last forever. So when I started getting really bad, when I started getting fuzzy solid foiling results all of the time, sometimes it just happens. You might not have heated it up perfectly. But when I started consistently getting fuzzy or patchy results on my solid foiling, I found out that my hot foil system was actually was starting to go bad. So they don't last forever. So and what you don't know is that it doesn't really affect standard foiling as much, but because it's just minimal metal that's being heated up, but because the solid foil plate is such a large piece of metal and it really does require even nice heat, sometimes that just happens. So, but definitely try heating it up longer, try running it through back and forth, or maybe back and forth a couple of times, maybe adding a little bit of extra pressure to your die cut machine. Now, I know it looks like I do have some fuzzy results here and there. I think I accidentally put some fingerprints on my solid foiling. So I may need to add a couple of jewels here and there because I don't think that those fingerprints will come off. And then also feel free to check. We do have a solid foiling video, like a 101 video, getting to know your solid foil plate. And we also put a lot of troubleshooting results into it as well. Okay, so I think today I have to still decide what jewels I want to use, but I'm still not completely sure. So I'm kind of pondering here on which ones I want to use today. I think it's possible I might break out some of the glitter drops. So I'm thinking maybe aqua for sure. Just grab quick. Alrighty, so I've got my whole canister here. So you know things are when it breaks out the whole package here. I don't think we're gonna do ombre. I don't think that the ombre ones are the best fit. I do think the aqua will be very pretty. Maybe the magenta. And maybe I will do one of the ombre glitter drops in just the sparkle and shine. All right. Yay for glitter drops. All right, so let's get a little bit much, but that's okay. Get some out here. Carol, I used Skybright foil today. Oh, and I did forget to mention this at the beginning of the video. Everything I've used, other than the jewels, because I didn't know what I was going to use today, so I'll update that when we're done. Everything I'm using today, with the exception of the jewels, are linked in the video description. So if you want to check out all the things that I used today, you can find them there pretty easily. Okay, so like I said, I had a couple of areas where I did get fingerprints. I think I had glue and I kind of smudgy, and I don't want to rub it because you can ruin the foil by rubbing it. So I'm just going to add a couple of jewel clusters in those areas where I know I did get my fingerprints, and then you'll never know that they were there. So I think we're going to go with magenta one, and then an aqua, and then we'll do a smaller little, there you go. So I think because the whole background is aqua, I do like the larger one being the pink. There's that guy. Let's flip this one over here. Okay, and then finally, I think on the inside, we're just going to add a smaller little trio. I need one more of those little tiny guys. I might have to fish it out of the packaging. Oh, nope, there's one. There we go. The right side. Oh, right, Barb. Same. Let's see. Not sure. What do I think about this trio in here? Maybe if I tuck one. Maybe I'll like this better. Yeah. She liked it the way it was. This is where I get quiet. Heather and I both get a little quiet when we're trying to figure out where we want to put everything. There we go. Okay, let's grab some glue. Ooh, that was a lot of glue. Hopefully it doesn't seep too much out the sides. So one thing about having foiling is it kind of spreads on the foil. So I'm trying not to put too much on there. There we go. All right. Here we go. And before we do anything, I am going to get these put away because I am notorious for spilling things. Let's just get these put away so I don't knock them all over my desk and the floor. And then we are done for the day. Okay. And there is our finished card. It's shiny, it's fun. Is it super shiny? And yeah, it is. You know, maybe not for every occasion, but I think it's really fun for this one. And I think it's a beautiful mix for the Rainbow Daisies. So you didn't want it to be this shiny, you could always go ahead, do this same technique, but just use the one that's the standard foiling, and it wouldn't be nearly as shiny. So a couple of options for you there. So I am going to get camera flipped around. Give me just a second while I get that done. And then we will wait for Heather to post the winner. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining me today. I enjoyed getting to hang out with you guys for an hour. And I think that the demo was done pretty quickly. I see them out there still. I think that maybe they're trying to plan another deck or something. I don't know. But at least thankfully, I don't think it was too loud. So it looks like we have our winner. Congratulations to Pamela Connor. You have won today's $15 gift card code. To claim your prize, send an email to me. My email is leah@pinkfreshstudio.com. And give me about 2 to 3 days to answer. And keep in mind, my name has no H, so it's just LEA, pinkfreshstudio.com. So we've got a scrapbooking live on Thursday, same time, same place, here, 12 noon Central Time, with Kathleen. She's going to be creating a lovely memory keeping project with you this week. So you'll definitely want to join that and check it out. Even if you're not a card maker, you can still get a lot of design ideas and inspiration from the scrapbooking lives as well. Other than that, we'll see you next week. I think next week is combined live, me and Heather together, and we will be sneak peeking our release. So be on the lookout for that as well. All right, make sure I haven't missed any last minute questions here. I don't think I have. So other than that, congratulations to Pamela. I'll be on the lookout for your email in the next few days. And thanks for joining me today. So have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we will see you here on Thursday. See you later, guys. Bye.